Pacho. Do you read me?
Be advised, you're coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Comp Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me?
Pacho,
Comp Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Pacho Correa, retired. I'm starting my new digs. So I'm finally settled somewhat a little bit in Florida. We have a great show lined up for you guys today. I think, a lot of us here want to, I've been a business owner a couple, and I just opened some businesses. So we have a great show for you. But before we get started, all I want to say is that, hey, this show is all about freedom of speech. And I fought for it for 21 years in the Marine Corps. So some of my counterparts that's helping support the show. So all I'm saying is that, hey, if you don't like what you hear, you have the right to move on and go listen to someone else. But if you like to hear some of my shenanigans and some of the other good stuff, then stick around and be sure to like and subscribe and share the show. All right. With that being said, I got a group. My next guest is Mr. Jovan Muñoz. He's the owner of Costa Azul. He's a fellow devil dog extraordinaire. He's out there making money, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about how to get started in a business, and we're going to exchange some ideas. So let's bring him onto the show and into the fold. Hey, how do you like that? I got sounds and shit. What's going on, brother?
Up, guys? Hey, guys, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's an honor. I know you've been really busy, and it's I keep joking with you that you're a hard man to get a hold of, but you're moving and shaking and making a lot of things happen, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been a long road, taking quite the punches, growing up, going through the pains, and happy to be here, though, pass it down.
That's awesome. Now, let's talk a little bit about, you were in the Marine Corps, is that correct? Can you tell us just a little bit about, what you did, your, MOS, all that good shit, let's get the introduction out of the way.
That sounds good. Joined the Marine Corps in 2006, did about a little over 7 years. I came in and I was an admin guy for a couple of years. Then lab moved into EOD, deployed to Afghanistan, went to Germany, a couple other places, and then that's about it. I got out in 2014, retired at 100% disabled, and then went to school at SDSU, San Diego State University for business. I got out, I started my own business, and then here I am 4 years later. Still grinding, Actually, you gave me the first opportunity to get involved with my first contract, so I appreciate you for that.
Nice. Yeah. So, today's show premise is basically, hey, so you want to own your own business. I know that when, you and I had lost touch for a little bit, how we met each other. We actually were both going through a program at the Winter Warrior. And that's how we met. And, one of the things, and I've already told the audience that, we all have a story to tell. I had to go to intensive outpatient program, just like yourself. And that's kind of where we linked up. So, but you've come a long way, my friend. I know you've had some hardships on and off duty, being also, you saw some things in Afghanistan, some demons that we deal with, but, you've risen above the dark clouds, and now you're a business owner. How'd you get started in, what led you, I guess, to, hey, I'm going to open a business. How did you get started?
I think how I got started is I sat down with you one time and I said, hey, I want to be a business owner. You said, hey, get the certifications, and become a service disabled veteran business owner. And I did that. And ever since, I just been researching, I knew that I wanted to start my own thing and kind of follow my own path and my own lead. And I think that's what led me into the entrepreneurship path. And ever since, I just, I directed my energies towards recovery and then, a peaceful, balanced life and here I am. However, work is overtaking some of my personal time, so I'm still correcting that. But that's how I got started.
Yeah. So just right here I want to talk about the certification process. But tell me what you were that you were before we started. That you're trying to come up with how much for what?
So I got to pull about $1 million right now in business line of credits, so I can support a couple of our contracts that we have this year. They're coming up right now, and in fact, some of my payrolls are as high as $49,000 a week sometimes. So cash flow has been a lot of that issue with the entrepreneurship path that I have for this contracting company. But things are successful, and then it's just a lot of things is time. The bank wants to see how much time you've been in business, how successful you are, your forecasting, your profit and loss statements, balance sheets, and that's what we're going through right now.
Okay, and that's not a bad problem to be in. I mean, so as long as you have you can show, you can prove to the bank that you're a good risk, because as working in the risk management industry and having to work on the insurance side for some time, underwriting is they can be a friction point, but you can also use that to your advantage. But let's talk a little bit about, so you're doing government contracting, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Government contracting.
And so, in California, for those of us who are looking at venturing out to starting our own business, what I highly recommend and what I did with you, because I heard it from somebody else, is becoming in California, you have a certification called Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, and with DVBE. So let's talk about a little bit of the certification process, the DVBE in California. Go ahead and enlighten me a little bit of what you had to do, the angst and pains. I know it, but I want it to come from you, since you're the guest of honor today.
No, I thank you for that. I'll tell you and I'll share with you what some of the talking points. But I think for people that want to do contracting, my best advice is don't do it. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. The Marine Corps, they always tell you don't get married, don't do this. I'm actually gonna preach the opposite. If you have an idea, if you have something, just go after it, just do it, make it happen. Don't give up, don't quit. You're gonna have days that maybe are tough, and you're gonna get a lot of no's before you get a yes. And so I say the way I got started with this certification, just to go back to the question, is California has a need, and they small business, I want to say police or entities, make sure that DVB, so Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise certified companies, can get some of this money allocated. So for example, in San Diego, I think usually they allocate about $500 million to be passed down to small businesses. And then out of that amount, 6% is mandatory DVBE, so
Right.
Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise, as well as DVOSB. So that's a VA requirement, Veterans Affairs. And that right there, it's a separate pool of money. So the feds have different budgets, different needs. They allocate different money to the Navy, which is NAVFAC, and then Army Corps Engineers, which is another, in my industry, two monster contracting entities that carry $1 trillion budgets. And luckily for us, they allocate somewhat of certain millions of dollars for contracting every year in different cities, state, and locations. So that's how I got started into contracting with the certifications.
Right, because you saw a niche in the market. What was your initial niche when you first started? When you and I were first talking about business, I wanted the audience to know, because once you do that, then I'm going to come back with something else. So,
yep. So how I got started, I just want to go back to the basis, and be back on the safe soil, hang out with some Marines and some good people, and kind of give back. So my first thought was, let me start with janitorial service and then get long-term contracts.
Because every Marine is a good janitor.
Yeah, we do clean a lot, that's for sure. And And so I was like, hey, let me use the skills. I went from
Yeah.
working on bombs to now I'm scrubbing toilets again, on that PFC private life, which is it's completely humbling, and quickly realized that some of those contracts are already unlocked for 3 to 5 years. So there's very small openings or windows or contracts to do that type of work. So I did a few small contracts, and then that led me to construction cleanup, and then eventually it led me to you and your past company that you work with. That
Shout out to
absolutely.
R.A. Birch.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
good. Yeah, I'll pay myself. I'll give them a shot. They were good. They were a good company.
yeah. They're great people,
Yeah,
actually.
great people. Yeah, I
I
miss
do.
Bob.
I do have a meeting with them. I think in the future, in the next 30 days, and I look forward to talking to them. And they've been great mentors of mine. And uh, I definitely them, and obviously my hard work is part of the success, as well as Simplify Fun, helping me get started with
Yes,
some
we could talk about that too.
some programs, and they really turned my life around, man. All these things turned my life around.
No, I mean you put in the hard work, bro, and it shows nowadays. I know that. So for everybody that's out listen to the show, if you're so with the whole DVBE process, yes, businesses are mandated in the state of California, and other states may have a similar or different program, or they just go by by the Fed. But you can, if you have a niche, anything, the government buys everything from small businesses, pencils, pens, paper clips. You can get yourself on the GSA, what they call the GSA Catalog. So for those of us who went to what they call Surf Mart, on base to buy pens and admin or whatever for the company office battalion, all that shit comes from a small vendor, and most of them are disabled veteran business enterprise. So the way you get there, you can start in California. Just go on Cal E Procure on the website and start out the process. Oh, you're a veteran, and the website walks you through the process. I mean, I had to kick you in the ass a couple of times, but was it hard or was it not, Jake?
No, it was actually very self-explanatory. It was just a matter of getting it there, doing it, putting the information in there. So it was
Somebody
actually
handed you the templates.
yeah, exactly that too. That helped out a lot. So I appreciate you for that. After that, though, we've gotten so many certifications that it's just some of them are just now they got requirements for SBE, DBE, which is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. As you know, our government allocated trillions of dollars for
Yeah.
infrastructure across the U.S. They just signed a PSA and PLA agreement for military bases to comply with those small business requirements. So there's more certifications out there. It's getting a little bit more easier to penetrate some of those industries.
Right. So, and you're right, because a lot of that times is just networking. Because when I peeled off from my conventional job, uh, I look into these certifications just like yourselves, and you and I talked quite a few times. So Cali Procure,
A lot.
but before even at the same time, everybody needs to go to sam.gov because
Yes.
you need to open that account and fill out that process. All it is just a government questionnaire because there are going to be bad seats out there, and it's checks and balances. You got to keep your books correct. You got to keep everything. You got to show proof that hey, the government's going to take a risk on you, but you're going to reap the benefits because again, it's like you started out doing a couple thousands here, a couple thousand there, but I mean I think last year when I talked to you, you say you're already doing $2 million deals and everything contracts. So sam.gov is one, then Cali Procure for the disabled business veterans enterprise. And then once you have a little bit of experience, then you apply for your, like you mentioned, your SDVOSBs, service disabled owned, was it SD, service disabled veteran owned small business.
Yeah, correct.
And it's the same templates and the same books, the same stuff that you need from the DVBE at California to the VA VA levels, and then you have Hub Zone, 8A, all those other things.
Yeah.
So, but how did
I
you
was
get some of those certs, Jay?
So recently, we decided to expand to Alabama because I determined that there's a niche out there for construction in Huntsville, Alabama. So they got one of the biggest budgets that we're interested in. So we got certified as a disabled business enterprise because we're a DBB here in California. So some of those certifications transfer over to other states, and that help us actually get some good work and some good contracts. Also, because having those certifications help out some of the general contractors that we work for. Therefore, uh, once they meet those requirements, they can pursue more federal work. And for us, ever since we applied for those and just transfer over to other states, it has been working out. And then we repeated the process in Austin, Texas, and now we're getting invites for big, $2 billion projects, $3 billion projects out there, road work, vertical construction, buildings. It's endless how many leads. In fact, we have to hire a new estimator to follow up with all the leads that we get. It's just it's a beautiful thing, honestly. And one thing will take you to the next. And not only that, you certify with those certifications, then you sometimes have to do like school, colleges, certifications. If you want to work with DOT, Department of Transportation, in any states, you got to go through their own process. If you want to work with the feds, I know SCVUSB, which is Services Over an Own Business Enterprise, carries over with the Veterans Affairs, and then that helps you as well because they can validate that in other states because it's just a federal requirement. So yeah, it takes a little bit of research, but the best thing that I recommend is get your certifications down as fast as you can, and then you can go to Sam's website, create your profile there, make sure that once you do it, you have your website, your domains, your pictures, your marketing ads, everything that you're gonna have plugged in. That Sam's Beta should be the last stop, so you can just plug and play
Right.
all your information and be found by the federal government. And those guys, like you were saying, going to Surf Mart to buy stuff from you, that's where they go to look.
Right, exactly. Because you and I both. I mean, when you were going through the process, I mean, through technology, and I'm not saying I'm an IT nerd. No, I don't want to say
pretty
nerd.
sharp.
Just I guess you could call it the military spirit, of getting it done. I mean, I did my own website by myself, Wix.com. I mean, shout out to Wix, whatever. And then from there, then I went to, if you want tax ID number, bam, you just go to the IRS website, you get a TIN, an EIN. I mean, it's just easy as that.
Free.
It's free. I mean, you could pay LegalZoom and all these other companies, whatever, but you can do it all. Again, if I did it, you got a name idea. Okay, boom. You just, in California, you go to the state secretary website, research the name. Nobody has it. You put it, you pay your monies, you reserve that name, and then you got to go to the city because, again, these portals, government portals, they want you to be registered at the city level. And that's a $35 in California for sure. I know that's a $35 fee. Register your business, you get your license, and then you yourself just put on your Google Calendar, hey, a week before, renew this shit, and that's it. And then you go to Sam, and like you say, you plug everything, and all this stuff just merges on together. I mean, it's that and it brings you to like you mentioned, into a spider. Once you do the VA, then DOT has their own certification process, but it branches off of this one, and you already have the templates, and you just submit that stuff. And by the way, people, did you have to turn in your taxes as on some of these as proof? On some of them, yeah, you got to turn in your taxes, but it's all part of the verification process because, and if just like the Marine Corps, everything has a waiver. You just submit a statement. No, I don't have this, but I will next year or whatever.
Correct. Right? Yeah, you're at a letter of explanation. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, where are you? And I mean, you said you branched out. You started doing construction cleaning as well. But you said that there were some other licenses that you saw a niche. Man, if I start doing, not just construction cleaning, I can do this and this. So, what other licenses did you get when as you were discovering this path of discovery?
So for California, I also understood that for the niche that I want to get into, they require licenses, and then you got to go to the California State License Board to get certified. We also got license in Alabama, and then looking to get licensed in Texas, because then now we're gonna spread out and do general contracting in multiple states. But in this state, how I got started was construction cleaning, and I got that D63 license that just got us on the road and got us going. And then we started seeing like, okay, well, there's epoxy flooring and there's waterproofing.
There you go.
We understand that it was very profitable. Like if you were getting paid $50 an hour, now you're getting paid $200 an hour. And then we walked and stumbled onto, I want to say demolition. And so part of us signing up with the local pool, the local labor pool, lead us to have people or have access to those people that can do demolition, that can do concrete, that can do irrigation, that can do landscaping, that can do, waterproofing, that can do all general labor. And so in a sense, we have used that and then grown into getting more certifications. So we started with the cleaning, then we started with the waterproofing and epoxies, then we moved into a demo license, then now a concrete license, and then now we're going for a B license, which is general
There you go.
building contracting.
So tell me about these because you had mentioned to me before B license, C license. What is that for those that don't know?
So the A license, which we currently hold in our corporation, it's a general engineering license. What that allows you to do, in a nutshell, is just do road work and heavy civil. So anything that has to do with concrete, when you're driving down the road, all those lanes that you see, all the compaction that goes behind that, all the grading that goes in the soil, all the testing that goes before you import asphalt or concrete. That's what the A license allows you to do. So you become a guru on that type of work, and then you can build sewers, you can build irrigation systems, you can take care of the, I don't know if you've seen it when you drive, but there's concrete walls, barriers that prevent the noise from hitting some of those houses near the road. So all that has to be engineered, and A license is our primary license that allows us to do general engineering contracting. And then following that is the B category, which is the general building, that allows you to do general building for vertical construction. So the A is horizontal for roads, and then B is for vertical, building.
Round
And
up,
then
yeah.
correct. And then the C category is all specialty. So it would be like demolition, concrete, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, solar, and then it goes down to C61 certifications that once again spiders out to like small non-recognized type of trades. So like construction cleanup is one of them, or like epoxies or wallpapering. All those little niches that are even more specific, and that's kind of the breakdown: A, B, C, and then the D's.
Yeah, because through all these processes, you gotta be correct. With these with these certifications, I mean, in SAM.gov, when you're in that portal, I mean, you could just there's a number just for about any type of job. I mean, Jesus, I think for underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
I mean, it's down. I mean, the government spends so much money on just what you would think is like, Jesus Christ, we spend money, but yes, it's down to that level, and they don't want to. They basically outsource everything. Oh, we don't want to go. They don't. Oh, okay, you sell pens. Okay, good to go. And all you're just the middle person. It's like literally being a wholesaler on Amazon. You're just the middle person, and they just buy stuff, and then at a cost. And if your bid is better than other, then I mean you're literally you're in it to kill it. And I mean, like just like you've done. I mean, you've branched out. You start out as in janitor. I mean, geez, Jay. I mean, you've look at you where we're in 2018, and I mean we're barely on 2022. I mean, in not even 4 years, dude. I mean, you're down. I mean, you're bringing in some big ass contracts, some big fishes.
You know what it was when you signed up. I mean, it's been a lot of work, man. A lot of not sleeping or sleepless nights, but everything is possible. It's just vision and your imagination where you want to go, and the rest is just figuring out how to put things together. I got into the service business. I know that there's products as well, like you mentioned, like selling supplies to the government and all this stuff. I didn't get to tap into that industry because we have so much work. It's just so much for one person to handle. We started with just me doing 20 different roles, and now we have our core of 7, and now we have grown. We have learned profit and loss statements. We have learned cash flow, how important cash is for the business to survive, especially if you don't have no work or if you don't have no contracts actively going. And not only just having the contract, but then also paying your guys for the work performed, and then waiting for the government to pay you back, or just combination of things that slowly but surely, as soon as you get started. One recommendation that nobody told me in the beginning was cash is king, and you got to preserve your cash. Without cash, it's think the road is tough, and there's gonna be help people out there to help you, but definitely once you start bringing in that cash, always before you spend it, just retain it and strategically create budgets for different things that you want to work on, and then grow those in a balance.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. I know there's individuals out there, and I don't want to drag anybody's name through the mud, but I know there's individuals, San Diego and in these counties, prior service and everything, that will charge a fee to help you get from point A to point B, get your business started, all these things. Do you believe in paying money, or to get it, or, since you did it, looking at both perspectives, you did it yourself, I did it myself. Are you for, hey, you know what, I should have just paid money for it? Or are you, hey, you know what, I did it, and now I know the process, I could teach somebody else? I mean, which one would you have preferred?
I think for me, I wouldn't pay anybody because we're smart enough to figure it out, and everything just comes with instructions, just like in the Marine Corps. Although there's disabled veteran companies out there that, for a small fee, will help you get all the paperwork done if you're not so good with paperwork. But in a sense, I think to overcome that is, just like what happened with me and you. We found out that you did it. I used the templates. I did my application. That happened. Another veteran came behind me. I gave him the templates. He applied, got his license, and then I think it's a matter of like networking, finding a good group of guys that are in the industry that you have target, and that are pursuing your demographic, and kind of like just ask for mentorship or guidance, rather than paying. Literally, it cost me probably like $1,000 to start this business, and now we're bringing, we closed at like $2.5 million last year. We're projected for $4 million this year. 2024 is definitely in the edge of $8 to $10 million, and these are signed contracts that we have coming up. So in a sign and thank you, in a sense, is just surround yourself with a good group of people, and when people love military. So as long as you tell them, hey, look, I'm military, I'm here, I'm trying to find guidance, and just speak up. A lot of us may not be personable, not personable, I want to say, like introverts or outgoing people, but even if you're an introvert, just push yourself a little bit, create a couple lines, understand, have a couple questions to ask, find common ground with other people, and kind of, even if it's not to ask for help for certifications, even if it was to like, hey, how's your day today, how's your family, where are you from, like just connect with that person one-on-one, and just things will flow, and then you can ask for the guidance and mentorship that you need. And that's the way I've been doing it. That's the way it works for me. I save thousands of dollars before I even think about paying anybody. I just research it first, because then if I pay $3,000 on a service that I could have done myself, it's kind of like No, not acceptable.
No, and exactly. I mean, and you could call, for example, the DVBE
Yeah,
office in
exactly.
Sacramento. You could call them, and these people, believe it or not, yeah, you may have to wait a little bit long, but they will literally help you with yours. We got your DVBE and your SDVOSB in one day, and all we submitted the templates. We told them, hey, this is on a Friday, I think Thursday or Friday, because we're trying to get you up into 29 Palms. But we called them, and the lady's like, "Oh yes, I see the paperwork." Boom, and then we called the VA side, same thing. Like, yeah, we got you, honey, and bam. I mean, and then you were able to do, and show up to execute that contract. Literally, I mean, on Monday. So people, and like you mentioned, network. That's one thing that all these small business advantage or organizations in California. I think that I'll give them kudos to California on that, because they're really good about. They always say network, 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 and return every phone call, even if it doesn't get you anywhere, whatever. Because like you, people got to know you. I mean, I remember you coming to you would bring flowers, you would bring, I mean, shit, you brought Christmas presents for
You know
the
what it
leadership.
was?
But I know, but I know, one, you're a good person. I mean, that's, you just did, because I've known you for many years. You're just good like that. But you know what? But I know at RA Birch, those folks in that construction company, and you asked them, hey, can you mentor me? You went to the owner and the vice president, and they said, shit, yeah. And I mean, they just taking you for the ride. I mean, and every other thing is like, man, that kid Jay, he's good shit. I'm like, yeah, but when he's clowning on you, you don't think, but that's another story. But I mean, you've done great, man. So I'm proud
Yeah,
of
man.
you, and kudos to you, bro. I mean, if anybody, let me ask this: are you open to some people reaching out to you in regards to if they're interested on how to get started? Are
Yeah.
you, would you take some people under your wing to get them where you're at now?
Yeah, I think I'm all about teaching and passing down what I learn. I definitely will help out. My only request is my time is worth gold to me and to my family
Yeah,
and everybody else. So if you will take my 3 hours, 4 hours of my time, I expect you to follow through. And if you're not ready yet, it's okay to not be ready. Just call when you're ready. But
and
yes, I'm open.
be honest about it. Don't make promises, because you're right. Time is the one thing, and yeah, because I know you're a busy person. I mean, and when I was doing the same thing, people would ask me, "Hey, can you help me out?" And I was like,
Right.
"Okay, here's what you got to do." And then you hit him up again, and and it's like, okay, you're a time robber. That's what we used to call him on recruiting duty. You're a time robber. I'm out. Sorry, I got, because time is money, baby. Shit. Jay,
uh, yeah.
go ahead.
No. I cannot agree more. I'm like I said, I'm all about helping out, passing it down. Just whatever I'm passing down today, even sitting down here, is gold. And if I was to start another company, and another path, all my knowledge and my experience is gold to the next entrepreneurship or venture that I take on. Same thing for whoever comes and knocks on my door and asks me questions. The only thing I ask is just take it and run with it, and then just pass it down to the next person.
Yeah, pay it back and forward. I just opened my, as a matter of fact, this last week I just opened my in another business, and
Nice.
we can talk about that
Let's
later.
go.
Jay, let's go. Jay, any shout outs? Want to promote anything? Throw it out. Throw it out there right now, man. Give yourself, a promotion to yourself. Hey, the mic is all yours, man.
Yeah, no, definitely shout out to Simplify Fun, and they actually rescue me and save my life in many, many ways, turn my life around, got me started in this path. So my biggest shout out is to Sue Baker, my case manager at Simplify Fun. Also, the AIG guys and Disable Sports USA, which I go skiing and snowboarding a lot with them. They help me keep my mental peace. I give a shout out to obviously Art Birch and a lot of other companies like McCarthy, Sunt, Clark Construction, a lot of these big players that give me an opportunity to continue on. Definitely a shout out to you for helping me out get started, and even those certifications, because all that weighs in. Every little help is just has counted. Definitely shout out to my family because they've been my support. They've been, my backbone, and without them, I honestly couldn't have what I have, and I wouldn't have the balance that I have today. So that's I wasn't prepared for shout outs, but that's the ones off the top of my head that
I meant like, shout out to Costa Azul and all the shit, all the other stuff where people can find you. I mean, hey, if you want to point people to your website, man.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And your Instagrams and all that good stuff and social media.
Yeah. Definitely shout out to the Costa Azul Contracting Group website. Come and check us out. We're out of San Diego. Have a location in Austin, Texas, as well as Alabama, Birmingham. Definitely check us out on Instagram, CA Contracting Group or CA Contractors. Definitely, you can hit me up on my phone number. You'll find it on the website. There's also my direct email, which is weird, but that's how the Disabled Veteran Group keeps it real, So.
Yeah. I do want to say right before you go that, hey, folks, for those of you who are interested, if you want to open a business, the Semper Fi Fund does have a business section that a lot of people don't know, and they have a grant for up to $20,000, which I've taken advantage of. I know you have. They'll give you laptops, desks. I mean, you name it, they'll help. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things, a couple of things you got to do, but they'll assist you with, right?
Yeah, essentials to get going, like registrations, grants for insurance, grants for equipment. They necessarily won't give you cash, but they'll get you ready with the tools that you need to go out in the field and do what you do,
Yeah, so I did want to touch on that. So if anybody's interested, again, Jay already had the go and he already had a business. And when he got with me, I showed him how to do these other things. So definitely you can hit me up on the website and then we can talk. We can definitely talk more. But Jay, brother, Semper Fi, thanks for your service to this great nation of ours. Thanks for everything that you've done. And man, I'm extremely proud of what you've become. Can I bring you back to the show so we could talk about some money and how let's go. We're gonna get it.
Let's get it. All right, man. For sure. Just time and date,
Hey, that's great, brother. Hey, Semper Fi, my friend. Thank you for all you do, and definitely we're gonna have you back on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
Hey, anytime. Well, everybody. Hey, I just want to say that again. If you're interested in starting a business, by all means, and you want to get started, you're serious, and you can talk to me, you can talk to Jay, but like he said, please don't waste our time. Time is important. I mean, I do a bunch of other stuff along with work, doing a regular job. So, on the other side, I want to kind of switch gears just for a little bit. I do want to give, our heart and sentiments go out to the people of Ukraine. They are going through some stuff right now. And, we do have a personal friend of ours who is out there. So we're thinking of you. We have you on our thoughts and prayers. And last, if you're one of those people who are struggling with anxiety, PTSD, depression, all that good stuff, please reach out. We just don't want you to be, a statistic, because your life matters and you are important to us. Somebody out there, including myself, we care about you. You can hit me up on the website. You can, shoot me a DM. And we can talk about things. And going back to the things that we talked on the show, we'll bring Jay back again. But I think we're just going to go ahead and end this right here. A lot of information, folks. But, hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We're now on iHeartRadio. Get some. And with that being said, I am out of here, folks. Get some.